Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and continue exploring Coarse Gold. I think we're doing pretty well. We've explored pretty much the entire west side of the city. We might be able to finish. I think we'll finish with most of the city in this video, if not all of it. So let's see. I'll go ahead and cross over this bridge again. You'll notice once again a board falls down into the river. And notice just like last time it says you have only about 3 crossings left. I'm pretty sure the game always says that. Like I said in the last video, I think the game just says that to mess with you. I don't think we ever actually have any risk of falling through the bridge, but it just does that as kind of a running gag so that you feel like you only have a limited number of times you can cross the bridge. It's pork chops on the hoof. You contemplate capturing the pig, but think twice when you realize that every single inventory item you have is carried in one pocket. After all, pigs are not the cleanest animals, and their fragrance can be unusually pungent. Not the best way to make friends and influence people. Oh, okay. The pig is named Francis Bacon, which of course is the real name of a famous writer and philosopher. That pig is one smooth conversationalist. If only you spoke pig Latin. Yeah, of course, this is a joke on pig Latin. Yeah. All right, let's come down here. We haven't been down here yet. So here is a building done in a sort of, what is that? Is that a Victorian style? I think that's a Victorian style, or maybe it's a kind of Gothic. I think it's Victorian, but I'm not sure. I'm not good with classic architecture. Located on this rocky hillside is Madame's place of business, a custom-built body house built in the fashion of the pastel Gothics. Okay, there's my answer. It's a pastel Gothic style. Of course, they had to get the rocks off the property before they could build here. They had to get the rocks off the property before they could build here. I think that is a probably a joke. Anyway, let's see. Unfortunately, you can't see into the brothel from out here. Madame does cater to peeping toms, though, at a slight discount. Let's see. Is there anything else I can... It's the door. Okay. The wood on the outside of the brothel is chipped, rotting, and nearly useless. In other words, it's pretty X-siding. You consider writing "wash me" with your finger in the dirt on the glass. However, Madame would probably assume you're talking about something other than the window. Ye olde Oorhouse usually isn't open during the day. Wait until dark, Freddy. Alright. There's this sign here swinging in the breeze. I don't know how clearly it's coming through on the video. I do have the sound effects. I do have the sound for the game turned down a little bit, so it might be a little bit quiet, but there's an occasional, actually I shouldn't say occasional, it's fairly constant. There's this fairly constant sort of creaking sound here, and that is this sign swinging back and forth. So, let's see. In chipped, faded letters, it says, Ye olde Oorhouse, established 1869. George Armstrong Custer slept here repeatedly. And while it may be an ore house, they do an entirely different sort of mining and rock collecting there. Yeah, okay. Leave Madame's sign alone. You wouldn't want her running off with a pharmacy sign, would you? No, probably not. Alright, let's see. What about this cactus over here? It's a cactus growing just beyond the fence. Don't touch it, you'll get a little prick. Okay. It's a white picket fence separating Madame's property from the Great Desert Valley to the south. Don't pick it, it'll get worse. Alright. And I think just the screen in general, yeah. Here on the other side of the tracks, in the baddest part of town, stands Madame Sadie Ovary's Ye Olde Oorhouse, a gazebo, and a lot of foxtail scrub and brush. She's Madame Ovary, which is obviously a combination pun on Madame Bovary, or scrub brush, as Madame is fond of calling it. You know, see parts of Main Street off in the distance back here. So, of course, Gustave Flaubert wrote a classic novel, Madame Bovary, and I think that's sort of a pun on that, plus, you know, the word ovary. Anyway, it's going to say right where it's painted. And yeah, you can look at these buildings off here in the back, but there's not really much point. I bet if the blacksmith shop sign is visible from here, at least you think it's the blacksmith shop, either that or somebody erected a store called Axe while you weren't looking. That is the cupola on top of the Bank of Bob. Sam Andreas's golden balls is right there at the end of the dirt path near the railroad tracks. You can kind of see the front of Mom's Cafe from here, the only 1.5-star dining experience in the entire San Joaquin Valley. This is the San Joaquin Valley, which of course is a pun on California's central San Joaquin Valley. And that's the hotel, which you can't see. I think that's supposed to say you can't see the hotel through the brothel. The typo, it says you can't see through hotel through the brothel, but that's just a typo. But yeah, if you come out here, so that you're not standing in front of the brothel, you can look at the hotel. And this is that sign that we saw before. Coming soon, open megaphone night. Take your best shot, you'll die laughing. And I think I mentioned before, this is actually a clue. This is a hint for something that we'll need to do later in the game. Actually, quite a bit later in the game, so we don't need to worry about that now. The bunting is clearly advertising an open mic night for comedians at Mom's Cafe. Now that the hotel is out of business, Mom gets free advertising space. You want to touch that bunting from here? You must be thinking of Plastic Man, Frontier Pharmacist. Haha, yes. Alright, yeah, and there's an exit cursor here that we can use. There's also a gazebo here. It's the old gazebo. Madame had it built for those who wanted the real old-fashioned romance special, an additional $1.50. It was never used. Apparently coarse gold is filled with unromantic cheapskates. Fudd's first law. If you push it hard enough, it will fall over. Is that Elmer Fudd? I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all that we have here. We cannot go this way. There's no way out of this screen except up here or inside the brothel, but we can't get inside during the day. We will be going inside there later at night. Oh, hey, it's a guy riding a horse. He's with the Pony Express. He'd knock you down and let his horse trample you. After all, the Pony Express must get through. No time! Gotta deliver the mail! Alright. So we've been everywhere around here. One place we have not yet been is inside Mom's Cafe, so let's go ahead and step inside. This is Mom's Cafe. It's Mom's Cafe, owned by Helen Back, the surliest mom in the West. Obviously a pun on Hell and Back.
I'm not your mom, buckaroo, and don't call me surly.
Yes, this is the proprietor, Helen Back. She is not a cheerful woman. She doesn't exactly have the sort of famed southern hospitality that some people are famous for. It's Helen Back, better known as Mom. If she was really your mom, you'd run away.
Well, I never.
Maybe that's why she's so tense and irritable all the time. Morning, Helen.
Freddy Pharkas, since when are we on a first-name basis? Only my closest friends may call me Helen. You and I are acquaintances, nothing more. Therefore, you should address me as Mom.
Land's sake, I'm sorry, Mom.
That's better. Now what did you want?
When I remember, I'll let you know.
Honestly, some people.
Does she say anything different if we talk to her? Oh, Mom, did you know that the hotel's been shut down?
Why, of course I did. Where on earth have you been, Freddy Pharkas?
Any idea of who did it, or why?
Sheriff Shift and Phineas were there, talking about being a fire hazard and something about there being back rent owed.
Phineas is P.H. Balance, whom we've met at the bank. Sheriff Shift is the sheriff of the town, whom we will probably meet later.
But I'm no gossip. Don't go by what I'm telling you.
Have you heard anything else?
I'm no gossip, Freddy Pharkas, and I've got work to do. Why don't you go and do yours? Yes, I believe that's the best idea. You get along and get back to work.
Also back here you can see Hop Singh, whom we first met through the back window back there when we were behind the saloon. You can also first meet him here.
Flies in the winter, snow fleas.
Oh, sorry.
Flies in the summer, snow fleas in the winter. God, but I miss Missouri.
Then why don't you go back there? Oh, I accidentally clicked on the flowers after her speech message cleared away. Helen, aka Mom, likes to decorate with flowers, loves to decorate the room with fresh cut flowers, but since there are no flowers in Coarse Gold, she has to make do with these sprouted collard green tops. Okay, here is Hop Singh. It's Hopalong Singh, Helen's faithful cook from the Far East. He used to work as a professional chef for a chain of Ponderola restaurants. Let's go ahead and talk to him before we... I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's talk to him. Howdy, Hop. How's the restaurant business?
Pretty slow. Not much business. Seem like town closing up and blowing away.
You've noticed that too, have you?
Oh yes. First old abandoned mine, then essay office, then post office, then tall and thin shop, then theater, yesterday hotel. What next?
Well, I intend to get to the bottom of this.
Maybe hurry before Mom's next to go. Hop Sing not want to lose his job.
So that's Hop Sing, but something very interesting happens if we try to speak to him a second time. Can I ask you a question, Hop Sing?
What is it?
It's an inquiry, an interrogative sentence calling for an answer. But that's not important right now. I'd like to know if you've got something against pronouns, contractions, and conjunctions. You use so few of them. I can any time I like. It's simply that Helen Back paid me handsomely to come and act like an authentic Chinese chef. Granted, nobody actually speaks like this, but she seems to think people speak like this. So hey, she just cuts the checks, I just play along.
That answers the question?
Perfectly, thanks. A secret is revealed. Alright, can we talk to Hop some more? Hey, Hop.
Freddy Pharkas again. What with you? I have restaurant to run. You still have pharmacy to run, yes?
Yes. Oh, and he said something else, which...
Then get back to it. I'm busy here.
What is he chopping up there anyway? It looks like a carrot. Probably is a carrot. Alright, let's take a look around here. What's in this little cabinet? Oh, it's China. Helen's China cabinet. Rumor has it that she keeps the heads of her 3 dead husbands somewhere behind the Melmac plates and dishes. Can we take a look and find these 3 heads? If you value your right hand, and we know you do, don't be opening Mom's cabinets. Alright. It's an old empty can of P&W beans. The firm, crisp beans that smell as savory on the way out as they do on the way in. Oh. Hey, Mom. Would you mind if I took this empty can?
If you must. I suppose there's more where that came from. In fact, I insist you take it. Get it out of here. I'm sick of the sight of it. Score!
Yeah, so we got a, Oh, look, we got an empty tin can. It's an empty can of beans. Why would Mom keep an empty can of beans on her shelf? Well, Mom's memory ain't what she used to be. Let's see. You poke around inside the can for a few leftover beans, but no dice. No beans either. Let's see. But elixir always tastes so much better from a bottle than from a can. Clunk. A toast to whiskey and beans. An empty tin can in a bag. We think not. Clink. You can't can the wax, can you? You wrap the can smartly against the ice pick, producing a tinny sound. You've got a great idea there, but you're going about it back-asswards. Ah, yes. If we use the ice pick on the can, we might get different results, but, I think doing that actually gets rid of the ice pick, so let's hold on to it just for a little while so we can see if we can get some more funny responses out of the ice pick. Here appears to be a can of corn. A can of P&W corn. The firm, crisp kernels that look as good coming out as they do going in. Come on, guys, did you have to make the same joke twice? You won't need any of that corn. You're getting more than enough corn just by playing this game. Haha, yes. I think, there's an adventure game called Donatia Savaticus Sextus, which also has a very corny sense of humor, and in the manual for the game, it talks about how environmentally friendly the game is because it says something like 80% of the jokes in this game were recycled. Can I take these flowers? Mom would cut off your testicles and serve them for lunch. And knowing the locals, they'd enjoy them, too. Well. A bottle of Mom's home-pressed apple cider. Mom is just merciless to those apples. As she turns the press, she screams,
Die, you suckers, die!
Well, it won't be worth taking till it's hardened. At least that's what Madame says. Do you drink apple cider when it's hardened? Oh, they mean hardened as in fermented, like become alcoholized, not hardened as in the texture. Okay.
Hop Sing, haven't you put up those no pest strips yet?
Hop does not reply. Alright. Just one of the homey red and white striped spotless tablecloth covered tables. Anybody want to see my spectacular tablecloth trick?
Anybody want to see my famous Julianne the Troublemaker and serve him as a side order with a chicken fried steak trick?
On second thought, the tablecloth trick isn't that spectacular. Let's skip it.
Smart boy. Freddy Pharkas, look what you brought in with you. What's next, honestly?
Speaking of stuff I brought in with me, I haven't been doing this for all the people I meet, but you can, of course, click your inventory items on people and get different responses from them, like, what did she say to the paper bag?
Well, that's a fine how do you do, walking in here with a doggy bag and expecting me to fill it for you.
I wasn't.
Oh, of course you were. I don't want to hear another word about it. We already have plenty doggy bags.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this I want to do. I mean, I could try giving everything in my inventory to all the characters in the game, but I think that would probably extend excessively long.
Tell me, what do I need an ass pick for when I've got Hop Sing's hands? They're deadly weapons. They're registered.
Alright.
Hop Sing used karate to chop ice, not needing ice pick.
Isn't karate a Japanese thing?
If it isn't carnauba wax, take it away.
It isn't.
Take it away. Not need wax, unless you got carnauba wax for pastries. You got to need carnauba wax.
No.
Same all over town. Fah.
Alright. Yeah, I don't think we want to click everything on everybody, because that would be a little bit... I think that might be excessive, but... Decorative oil lamp is attached to the wooden support beam. No need to, since it's always bright, sunny, and cheerful in Mom's cafe. Mostly because the weather wouldn't dare cross Mom. Yeah, okay. I think there's nothing else that we can do here right now. We got the tin can. I guess that's pretty good development. So, let's see. We are now done with the north side of town, where the church is, with the whole west side of town. And we've been in here inside the mercantile company, which would more generally be called a general store, and we've been in the barber shop. Here is somewhere we've not been yet, and here's the pharmacy. This is our Pharkas pharmacy. I think I'm going to go there later, because that's where the game actually starts. The real game, like the real plot to the game, is going to start once we get inside the pharmacy, so I'm actually going to leave that for last. But let's take a look around. There's that kid again. It's your ordinary water trough, favorite hangout of coarse gold horses and town drunks. In brighter days, this trough will be filled with sparkling clear, pure mountain spring water, the kind that make into lousy domestic beer. These days, though, all you see in the trough is muddy, dirty old stagnant water with a bunch of dead flies floating on top. Yeah, you stick your hand in the stagnant water and all you get is a damp, muddy form with a lot of dead flies stuck to it. So... This is the sheriff's office and the pharmacy. These two are open, and these two buildings in the center are both closed. This is the Tall and Thin shop. The sign says Tall and Thin shop. And hey, it's right. That's just about the tallest and thinnest shop you've ever seen. The Tall and Thin shop. The owner narrowly escaped with his life once he was discovered short-changing customers. Okay. This place is boarded up tighter than a sheep's hiney on the Ponderosa. Leave the sign alone. Let it serve as a reminder to other shopkeepers who would incur the wrath of the good citizens of Coarse Gold. This was Coarse Gold's opera house, Pee-Pee's Playhouse. Obviously a pun on Pee-wee's Playhouse, an old children's show with Paul Rubens in it before he had a surprise encounter in a movie theater. It was shut down by unpopular demand several months ago after the owner was found necking with a lamb during a performance of Babette's Feast. I think that actually is possibly a reference to a certain scandal that involved Mr. Pee-wee, which I probably won't discuss here. Anyway, can't you read the sign on the door that says closed? The sign says Pee-Pee's Playhouse. Or it used to anyway. Now it looks more like Pee-Pee's Dlayhouse. Let's see. Leave it to the wrecking crew. You rattle the doors a bit, but they seem locked for good. You can barely reach that first letter, but even so, you don't feel like taking a big pee right now. I think I actually made this joke in conversation several years ago, somewhat inspired by this game, because there was some guy who just sort of serendipitously used a sentence with a lot of words that started with P, and then he said something like, "Yeah, I am the master of big P words." And I said, "Unfortunately, I don't feel like taking a big P right now." And yes, I did borrow that joke from this game, so now you know. What's this down here? There is a wrecked building with a sign that says Coarse Gold Depot. The remnants of the Coarse Gold Depot all tumbled down and shot to heck. Depot of what? The train depot? This clutter is a local landmark. I apparently can't read. I keep reading things wrong. This clutter is a local landmark, and as such is protected under the Eastern Madera County Don't Touch That as a Landmark Act of 1855. All right. Let's go ahead and visit the sheriff. This is Sheriff Chickham P. Shift's Jail and Armory. Aha, he's Sheriff Chickham Shift. The sheriff does a mighty fine job of infiltrating the criminal element in town. In fact, he is the foremost criminal element in town. It's the most solidly built structure in town. This is the sheriff's window. Not very good at keeping out the rain, but at least nobody's liable to break in. Of course, who'd want to break in? Yeah. The bars are set solidly in the mortar. Give it up. Someone with a higher IQ than most of the folks in town correctly painted sheriff here. Stealing the sheriff's sign is something you might have done in your college days, but now you're too chicken shift. Alright, let's go ahead and visit the sheriff. And there he is, busily working at his desk. You can see the good town sheriff is hard at work. That's the jail cell where Sheriff Chicken P. Shift tosses the bad guys. With the town's population dwindling, there haven't been many occupants lately. Just in case the name Chickham P. Shift wasn't obvious enough, they had to put this nickname here in parentheses just so that you'd get the joke.
You want to spend a night in the Who's Gal, son? I think that can be arranged.
Yes, that is the sheriff. He is a bit of a comical character. We'll be talking to him in just a bit. This is a reward for Mike Stinky Pikinky outhouse tippin'. The sheriff hung his hat and long coat on the rack. Alright. There's another wanted poster over here. This is One-Eyed Jack for the killing of Bill the Barber. Didn't that wanted poster somewhere else? I think in the... Was it in the bank that there was a wanted poster for Bill the Barber? Somebody might want to let them know that this one poster is here.
You don't mind leaving that thing up there? Whenever I feel myself getting soft, I just look at that ugly varmint and get the old fire stoked up again. Would you mind not tearing that down, Farkham? I ain't caught that critter yet. You all just leave them duds alone, boy. You know I like you, boy, but you go poking around in a man's privates, I takes your hand off of nothing flat, boy, just like that.
Alright. Let's see what else we have here. Obviously the desk. The sheriff's big old desk is cluttered with all sorts of crime-fighting paraphernalia, just in case the sheriff decides to fight some crime someday. The sheriff's spittoon, where he gets most of his target practice.
Drop it, Farkenstein. I'm starting a collection. Keep your hands off of my crap, paraquat.
Pharkas.
Whatever.
Some of the sheriff's law and order books. Pent Up House. Letters to Pent Up House Pets, Pent Up House Forum, Female Convicts in Bondage, Babes in Bars, and Debbie Does Cell Block D. Something suggests that those are not, yeah. Can we borrow some of this, reading material?
Leave him be, Farkmaster. Y'all ain't no business sticking your nose in my penal codes.
Bit of a pun on penal there. This is where the sheriff keeps his trade journals.
Hey, Faubourg, y'all keep your hands off of my bookshelves.
Alright, what's this, basket thing down here? Oh, it's an old bucket. Sheriff Shift occasionally likes to soak his feet.
Quit poking around in my foot-soaking tub, Farkblad, unless you was going to soak my feet for me. Yah, yah!
Let's see. There's a lamp here. It's the lamp which It is the lamp which the sheriff keeps lit so he can read his procedural manuals and see the pictures real good.
Leave it be, Foreman. I gotta see my penal diagrams good.
It's an old register clock. Perhaps a joke on digital electronics.
It don't need winding, Barkus. It's one of them clocks that winds itself from the constant vibrations of California's shaky tectonic plates.
That is true, actually. For those of you who have never lived in California and have never looked into it, if you actually check one of those earthquake shake maps for California, it is kind of scary. Every day, literally on a daily basis, there are earthquakes in California, too small to be felt by people, but measurable with, with seismic equipment. And you can actually see there are repeated earthquakes of magnitude of like 1 or 2 every day all across California. It's a little bit, it is a little bit scary. If you find that out after you've been living there for a while and you didn't realize that. But anyway, it's not like people don't know that there are earthquakes. But that's an old trunk dated back to the 1870s. Actually, in that case, it's pretty new. I guess it is, since this game takes place in, the 1880s, I think?
If you get that thing open, Farkley, let me know. It's been locked for years. Nothing in it as far as I know.
You might think that's a puzzle or some kind of task that you have to get this open eventually, but actually, no, you don't. You can never do anything with this trunk in the game, so don't worry about it. It's a real turn-of-the-century sheriff's office, manned by a real turn-of-the-century sheriff. I thought there was a mouse hole down there that I was trying to click on, but it doesn't seem to actually do anything.
What you looking for, boy?
Looks to be a table of some sort.
You break it, you bought it.
Those are the sheriff's 6 guns. Actually, they're revolvers and rifles, but there are 6 of them.
Hey, porkers, them's my official shooting irons, and you don't want to be touching them. I could clap you in irons for that.
Alright. I guess that's it, other than, there are the bars here. Sheriff Shrift has tastefully decorated his window in the fashionable Nouveau Leavenworth style. I thought it was shift. Is that a typo, or did I just... You hear it's shift. I think that might just be a typo.
Them there bars are boarded in place nice and tight, boy. No amount of tugging's gonna budge 'em. Just give that one up right now.
It's authentic masonry. Actually, it's a fiberglass polymer, nice and light and perfect for western sets like these.
They're cemented in place, Faubourg. Do your worst, you can't hardly move 'em.
Technically, the fiberglass polymer set is all one piece, so you can't move it. Alright, I guess the only thing I didn't do is talk to the sheriff himself. It's the Honorable Sheriff Chicken P. Shift trying to invent coffee and donuts. Yes, of course, jokes about cops and donuts.
Hey there, boy. You've been living here long enough to know we's a pretty macho bunch, Faubourg. Don't be ditching me. Leastways, not with the window open.
Sheriff!
Faubourg, what do you want?
Why'd you close down the Dirty Sheets Hotel?
What's it to you?
Well, I'm a little worried about the tourist trade, and...
It's not your place to worry about the tourist trade, boy. Leave that to me. Now, as for the hotel, if it's any of your business, it was attracting the wrong sort of business. Transients, hobos, people of low moral fiber. Can't be having none of that going on in Coarse Gold, can we?
But at the rate those places are closing down, there won't be any town left in a matter of days.
Listen to me, boy. That ain't none of my never mind. I'm just looking to make this place as safe as can be. So if I gotta close down a place or two, well, y'all just have to live with that.
The spittoon makes a resounding ping. Did it get an ICMP response back, I wonder? Sheriff, I don't understand how the Opera House was making Coarse Gold unsafe. Why'd you close it down?
They was showing smut, and there and it was attracting the wrong kind of customer.
Smut? Like what?
Chaucer. Rebelle. Balzac!
I don't think that Balzac is quite smut. But, okay. And furthermore...
What the Sam hell do you want now? Don't you have customers to get to, Farkenstein?
Yes, but I don't see why you had to close down the tall and thin shop. What in the world was wrong with that?
Listen to me, boy. Tall and thin folks are sneaky.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. They look down on everybody, and when they want to sneak around, they turn sideways toward you so's you can't hardly see them. Luckily, their collarbones break more easily than most folks, so's you can whoop on them real good.
That's the most insane load of horse manure I've ever heard.
Nobody's asking you to believe it, boy. If you don't like how I'm running this town, why, you just go right on and leave. In fact, I should be seeing you about this very soon, boy. Very soon.
Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh no. That doesn't sound very promising. Okay, and just repeats that last dialogue once more, so... Alright. I guess that's all that we can do here for right now. Let's just pretend that never happened. And no, that doesn't actually impact anything. It doesn't matter if you talk to the sheriff or not. That won't actually... He'll come and see you regardless of whether you talk to him or not. So, this is our pharmacy. This is your pharmacy, your home, the center of your universe, the Pharkas Pharmacy. You envision a day when there will be a string of Pharkas Pharmacy franchises from coast to coast. You don't have any room in your pockets for an entire pharmacy. What's with this hole in the window here? That's the left pharmacy window. With all the dust out here, it's a pain to keep clean. Lol, get it? Yeah, what about that hole there? It doesn't say anything about it. He'll smudge the dirt. That's the right pharmacy window. Same joke again. You'll smear the filth. And who's this standing in front of the pharmacy? It's Dominic, one of your part-time Native American employees. He works under the professional name Running Gag. The union told you that you had to have a cigar store-style Indian out in front when you opened your pharmacy, but as there were a lot of out-of-work real Indians in the neighborhood, you decided it was more politically correct to hire some real ones. Please don't take my cigars, Freddy. This is how I make tips. Standing out in front of the store doesn't really do much to guarantee me a secure retirement. Morning, Dominic. Morning, Freddy. What's new? Let's see. I finished reading A Century of Dishonor last night. Quite impressive. That Helen Hunt Jackson really knows how to evoke an image of the white man's treachery. Do you know how many treaties your people have signed and then broken in the past 20 years alone? Excuse me, I think I hear someone calling me or something. Can we give Dominic various inventory items? No, thank you, Freddy. I've already got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Use any more and you'll have to pay a royalty. Alright. Who's this? One of the few remaining townspeople wanders around, trying to find a decent opera house that's still open. You like the poncho, eh? The poncho, she's pretty, eh? I get to you a poncho someday. Hi. Talkative fellow, ain't he? Alright. The pharmacy is locked. This ain't Mayberry, partner. And we do conveniently have a key to the pharmacy, which we started the game with, but we will get to that probably in the next video. For now, I'll go ahead and pass over the pharmacy, and let's see what's over here. This is the school. This is the old red schoolhouse, one of the few buildings that still seems solid and safe. Hey, be careful. It is a solidly built structure compared to most of the buildings around here, but that's not saying much. Alright. And what's this over here? It's the old abandoned assay office, once owned by a subsidiary of the old abandoned mine company. This is, for those who don't know, an assay office is basically where miners would take their gold. Yeah, before the mine shut down, this is where you got your nuggets appraised. Now you have to go to Madame's for that. The assay office during the gold rush was where you would take gold and they would weigh it and determine how much it was worth and then pay you based on how much gold you had brought them. So they basically assessed the value of the mined materials that you would give them. Oh, look who it is. This is, It's Penelope Prim, full-time school marm, full-time single frontier woman, and part-time heartthrob. This is the woman whom Frederick, our protagonist, has a crush on, as revealed in the prologue to the game. How does she do it all? Easy. She's incredibly uptight and has numerous stress-related diseases. Can we talk to her? Penelope!
Freddy, how nice to see you. Did you leave work just to come see me?
Yeah. Just being able to look at you makes my day seem to fly by. See, looking at Penelope makes Freddy tongue-tied. Penelope titters and tilts her head coyly.
You do know how to flatter a girl, don't you? Now you get back to work, so you'll have enough money to take me to the Sadie Hawkins Day dance next week.
As you wish, milady.
Tee-hee!
Can we use the hand icon on her?
Freddy, I beg of you, not in front of the children.
Alright, let's give her a lump of candle wax. Oh, Penelope. She ignores you. Looks like Penelope's headed inside the school for a while. Maybe you can catch her on the way out. It doesn't matter. Can we follow her inside the school? Penelope keeps this door locked all the time to keep the kids in and the rabble out. Thank goodness there's no such thing as a fire code yet. Can we not knock on the door since she just went inside? Alright, whatever. Let's see. It's boarded up, but there's nothing in there anyway except some worthless old rocks and a few petrified cinnamon rolls. Insert nauseating joke about rock and roll here. Alright. It's a sea shanty. Sea? Shanty! You just went cow tipping last night. You can go shanty tipping some other time. What percentage does one tip a shanty anyway? Alright. So there are some children here. I guess we don't need to look at all of them, but this is the corner of Main and Education Street. The assay office and the schoolhouse are on the west and east sides of the street respectively. Clutter prevents your passage to the south. It's a long plank firmly attached to some sort of axle, allowing one side to pivot upwards while the other side descends. When kids play on it, one of them teeters at the top and the other totters at the bottom. Say, you've got an idea for what you could call this thing. A kiddie pult. Oh, here comes Penelope again. Alright, let's give her some candle wax. Look, Penelope, candle wax.
Why, yes it is, Frederick. How lovely for you. Are you starting some sort of collection?
No, I mean yes.
Oh, well if I run across any myself, I'll be glad to save some for you.
That's very nice, thank you. Let's give her an ice pick as a token of our affection.
That certainly looks sharp and pointy, Frederick. Please take it away before I cut myself.
Let's give her some alcohol because I'm sure she would appreciate that. Here, Penelope.
I'm sorry, Frederick. You know those drugstore remedies don't do me any good.
Alright. So let's see. Here's some... I think that's a girl skipping rope. It's Weebix, one of the little orphan girls. Keep your hands off the kids. They're Penelope's responsibility. Hello, Weebix. How are you this morning? She pointedly stares away from you, counting to herself and looking just a bit peeved. 1, 5, 9, 3, 4, 7, 2, 6. Here, I've confused you now, haven't I? Weebix's eyes get very large and well up with tears. She sets her jaw firmly and keeps jumping, starting with 1. Hope you're proud of yourself. Come on, Freddy, that was just a little bit uncalled for, wasn't it? It's a little boy rolling dice and muttering something about baby shoes. The boy shrugs you off. He seems awfully intent on getting control of the dice. So, you boys playing jacks? Where are the jacks? They snicker at your knivette and return to their game. It's either a spreading chestnut tree or a shedding spruce nut tree. You consider shimming up the tree, but your pelvis is simply too narrow to accommodate the girth of that trunk. A feeling not entirely unfamiliar to Madame Bovary. Oh, here comes Penelope again. Let's give her... I don't know, let's give her a tin can. That's certainly a romantic idea now, isn't it? Empty can of beans?
No, but thank you for asking.
You're most welcome. What a gentleman.
What's this?
Doc Gillespie's whiskey glass.
Frederick, you are a dear sweet man, and I'm growing more fond of you each day. But I don't think that taking away his glass is going to help that poor, sad old man from drinking. He'll just find another one somewhere.
You're right, as always, but it was worth a try.
You are so very noble, Frederick. Hee.
Alright, and a paper bag.
No, thank you, Frederick. My, I haven't purposely hyperventilated since my college days.
Alright. Let's see. Let's take a look at this red... No, I'm trying... A long curved plank. Kids climb to the top and then slide down. Isn't technology wonderful? Where do children get these wonderful toys? I'm trying to look at the girl on the... There we go. It's Sissy playing on the slide. No wonder the boys call him Sissy. His mother really dresses him effeminately. Yeah, that... Is that a boy? Seriously? With the long hair and wearing a red dress? Are you serious? Sissy's in a foul mood. He'll bite your finger clean off. Alright, can we go on the slide? The ladder, held in place by a couple of old loose screws, easily comes away from the rest of the slide assembly. You somehow cram it into your pocket along with the rest of the junk you've got stockpiled in there. Good job, Freddy. Wrecked little kids' playground equipment. If only they knew how good and true your heart is. I'm not sure that was our intention, but... He's not playing on the slide. He can't play on the slide anymore because we took the ladder. Let's explain the situation to Penelope. I'm sorry, Penelope, we sort of accidentally took the ladder. Oh. I didn't have enough time to tell her that we took the ladder. Can I put the ladder back on the slide? After you went to all the trouble of stealing the ladder, now you want to try and redeem yourself and putting it back? Too late. You'll burn for this, fella. I don't think we can get rid of it now. I don't think we can give it back. But I am curious to see what Penelope says if we try to give her the ladder. If she comes out again, which I'm assuming she probably will. Yep, there she is.
That looks like the ladder from our playground slide, Frederick. Now, I'm not saying you took it, but I'm going to close my eyes for a count of 5, and when I open them, I want that ladder returned, if that's our ladder. Ready?
Penelope closes her eyes and counts to 5 while you stand there awkwardly hiding the ladder behind you.
I see the ladder is not back in place. Perhaps it was somebody else who stole it. I apologize for wrongly accusing you, Frederick. Can you forgive me?
Oh, for anything, Penelope.
Okay, now we feel just a little bit bad about ourselves, don't we? Can I talk to this sissy?
Hello, Sissy. My, your golden locks are looking pretty today.
Sissy glares at you with a look that says, I know 1,000 ways to cause pain to a human body. You want to start counting? I have to say, I don't really understand why would his parents dress him in a dress. That seems just a bit... I mean... okay, whatever. Shrubs and weeds grow amongst the wreck of the old train depot. Okay, well, I think we're done here for now. This would probably be a good point to end the video, but I'll go ahead. I think I only have one screen left. Yeah, this is our last screen that we haven't seen yet, so I'll go ahead and just finish off here. This is the thick, bubbly, foul, dark water that seems to be oozing from the ground all through town and creating nothing but a messy problem for the townsfolk. The big old water tower was previously used by the train station. Now it's junk. It was the last train of Course Gold, and it's sunken at the station. Main Street comes to an end here in the thick, murky swamp. Beyond it lies the old abandoned mine. Occasionally you will see something foul bubbling in the water there, and there's a sound effect that plays when that happens as well. Over yonder is the old abandoned miners' commissary where the miners used to eat before the mine closed down. Of course, the food over there is as fresh now as the day it was made. And over here... Oh, tree leaves here are dying and diseased. That... Does it not say anything about it? Oh, there we go. That's the old abandoned mine, once run by the old abandoned mine company incorporated. You remember blowing it up in the demo. Oh, spoilers. It was Course Gold's original ore house. Bit of a spoiler there, but there is a demo for this game that involves that mine back there, which I think I already mentioned, and which I am thinking of probably playing after I'm done with the main game. But anyway, I guess that's it. This is where the east side of town ends. We cannot go east beyond here, so at this point in time, I think we've seen pretty much everything. pretty sure that we've seen and been inside every building in town that we can get inside, except for the brothel because it's closed during the day, and our pharmacy. Did I miss anything? No, I think that's it. I think we've seen all the screens that will comprise our adventure here in Course Gold while playing Freddy Pharkas. So I'll go ahead and save here at Swamp. And I'll show another way to die, which is basically, very obviously, just walk into the water. The swamp seems thick enough to hold your weight. I guess I misjudged the surface tension.
So that's how Freddy's brilliant career done come to a screeching halt. He sank into the swamp and was never seen again. A shame, too, because the rest of us were kind of planning on being in the sequel. That ain't one of my better stories, anywho. Say, did I ever tell you the story about old King Graham? Seems there was this evil wizard and got Graham into just a peck of trouble.
Guess you're a Flatlander. Alright, that is that. And by the way, speaking of sequels, there never was a sequel to this game. I do remember back in the mid-90s, sometime after this game came out, I did see ads for a Freddy Pharkas 2 in some of the game listings for companies like Chips and Bits that would sell games in computer magazines. I remember they were advertising Freddy Pharkas 2 for sale, like they were actually selling it. And I don't know what happened if you actually tried to buy it from them, because I think it was a pre-order, since it hadn't actually been released yet. I guess they were anticipating it being released soon. And I assume that there must have been some work done on a sequel, since I don't think they would be advertising it unless there was an announcement from the Sierra that they were planning to make a sequel. But it was not meant to be. There was never a sequel to this game, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, what a shame. So I will go ahead and leave that there for now. We are done exploring the town, and in the next video we'll finally go inside our pharmacy and we'll see some sort of plot and puzzles and things starting to develop. So thank you for coming along with me on this tour of Course Gold, folks, and next time we'll begin playing the game proper and really doing stuff, adventure game stuff. Until then, everyone, thanks again. Bye-bye for now.